Good evening, everyone. Lovely warm night outside, and here I am stuck in chatting away to you, which is the best bit of the day, I've got to tell you. One set of replies in this week, one correspondence only. I have had apologies sent in to me from a few others who are currently assembling their CVs to apply for their old jobs because there's pressure on the cardiology beds, and I think this is only the start of it, quite frankly. And you know, fair play to you. You've got to concentrate on keeping your own job, and you'll come back to this whenever you can. But you know, good on you. And what's more, my other correspondents around the country have indicated to me that they are very sympathetic to you because they are going on with they are getting this sort of pressure put on them. So not an awful lot. The main source of the correspondence this way, I've had face-to-face stuff and I've had stuff over the phone, but the only written correspondence that I've had this week has come from our friend in Tyneside, who sits there peeling grapes all day and supping on chamomile tea and watching the world go by. Only joking, you've got your own problems up there, and I'm fully supportive there. So, the replies given to week 10's stuff, I note that they're up there in the northeast. Patients not necessarily given an exercise tolerance test, but certainly seen by a coronary artery disease nurse, CHD nurse, specialist nurse. Excellent, and by the rehab nurse, and then the rehab nurse and the cardiac nurse get together and chat over the difficult cases. I mean, that's service when you think about it, isn't it? That really is a decent service, I think. And in your previous experience, when I asked, in your previous experience, did district nurses get involved in patient follow-up? You said that in the rural area that you lived in. Yes, indeed, this was the case. My guess is that when you talk about where I am now, my guess is it's more urbanised. And therefore, presumably there's more people around, and therefore you can specialise more. That's what I'm trying to drive at you. You can specialise more, so you don't see the district nurse. I don't know what to say about this really. I sometimes wonder that. I sometimes think that I'm sometimes very glad to see the rise of the district nursing movement over the last few years, to be honest with you. I like the idea that people are cared for in their own homes. I like the idea that people come to their own homes to see, because there's an awful lot you can get from going inside somebody's house, isn't it? You know, you see them in a hospital or in rehab, and there's a sort of people are on the best behaviour, and you know, it's a kind of an artificial environment where I see someone in their own home, but on the other hand, you become part of anything else. You become part of the family. You know what I mean? And you can see the context of a person's domestic arrangements. Who wears the trousers? You know, I have such good experience personally of district nursing services. You know, absolutely fantastic, and it's where people want to be after all. You know, the community resources for people post MI. Got some great examples up in the Merseyside region. There's one cardiac service which is over in Birkenhead, for instance, which makes full use of firemen's gyms. Oh, yeah, the people go round to the fire station, yeah, use their gym, yeah, keep fit, go home, everyone's happy. The fire station's getting used more, there's more community involved, you know, it's got something to say for everybody. Exercise tolerance test, not routine. In the reply that you gave to me, if you take a little look at it, it's tertiary centre, isn't it? People get sent for angios, get sent for urgent angios, get sent for PCI. If they come back and they're still getting symptoms, maybe you'll do an exercise tolerance test and going to fire them off again to the tertiary centre. This is why my other correspondents have got the pressure on them for their jobs, isn't it? If we're sending them all to the tertiary centre, how come we need all you? Has this turned into a theme in this module? A disturbing theme. Anyway. I note Old Tyneside there that you didn't mention, you didn't reply to the question that I asked about relaxation as part of rehabilitation. I think they're rather big on this in Jowett and Thompson. Frankly speaking, if I was a 65-year-old pensioner post-MI, the last thing I would want would be going along to a rehabilitation and being ordered to relax. You know what I mean? As though lack of relaxation was the cause of my problem. Wouldn't be very happy with that as a suggestion. I wouldn't be very happy with that as a suggestion, that this is somehow because you're too tense, that's why you've had this. And the idea of sitting down, of lying down on the floor and listening to bloody whale sounds. Mind you, I think you either like that sort of thing or you don't. You know, personally speaking, I couldn't tolerate it. But some people lap it up, don't they? Especially you ladies. I'd find that extremely embarrassing. That'd make my heart rate go up just like that. Going over the page. Oh, very, very thoughtful reply to the question, physios or nurses should run rehabilitation. And I love the way you've focused on the advantages and disadvantages of each. You know, advantages to nurses, well, let's face it, you've seen them from accident and emergency in some cases, through coronary care, through the cardiology. You know, whether or not you've worked there, you've seen the process, all right, you know. On the other hand, with the physio, well, this person might have a problem with their hip, they might have a problem with their neck, and all of a sudden they're getting access to a physiotherapist. You know, this could turn the corner for the poor post-MI person over a number of points. I did make a note, Tyneside, that your longest reply was on the grounds of psychological support, the psychological support of patients who have had, and I was struck by the degree of your insight. You know, you seem to say this stuff with a degree of feeling, and it did occur to me when I was reading your reply there. It did occur to me to think, she's saying this with such feeling. I wonder if there's a personal element to this. You know, I wonder if you've seen personally in your own life the sort of psychological distress and psychological derangement that's caused by the survival of an infarct. My old man had an infarct, and then he needed emergency bypass grafting on top of it. And you know what? I don't remember him having any distress or any psychological disturbance at all. And he came close to dying. And I look back at that period now and I think, did I miss anything? You know, but I don't think I did. You know, he was the sort of a fellow who just seemed to float above it somehow. And yet reading this stuff, it strikes me that that's a really untypical response. I loved the little anecdote there you gave about the overprotective husband with the wife and getting glared at by the wife when you told the husband that he shouldn't protect her so much and make her do more stuff. Excellent little anecdote that. I noticed that you didn't mention anything on Ueno either, and possibly you're coming back to that. But let me just tell you what Ueno said. And this is quoted as gospel in all sorts of literature. Just take a look. It says that that people don't die of sex. They don't die of heart attack having sex. That's the basic message. But if they are going to die from having sex, it's usually with an unfamiliar partner. So this is wheeled out as a reason why it's perfectly safe to have sex. But it was a Japanese paper in 1962. That's a world away. You can't extrapolate that from the British context in the new century. And what are you saying? That people who shouldn't have sex with unfamiliar partners. What does that say to the single man or woman? Before I finish, I've put something else, some films from YouTube for you to take a look at. See what you think about them. Some of them are better than others, but I love them. See you soon. Bye.